Hi guys, how are you guys doing? So last week was not such a good one. The market was very choppy, so if you look at the price action of Bitcoin, it's not so good. The price action was very choppy. You were essentially getting a lot chopped out. If you look at it, rejection, no follow through, small follow through, rejection, follow. It grinded higher, but there was no looking for longs. There was not a point where you could long it properly. This was obviously the good trade in long side. You could have done this, the rejection one, and then second this was the long. But after this trade there was not much to do in the market last week. It was an entire chop one, so you were risking getting yourself stopped out a lot more, and you would have lost a lot of money if you had traded it. So we didn't obviously get much trades, which is fine. We're not going to get opportunities every week. We're not going to be making money a lot every week, and it's bearish market conditions. So sometimes it's about survival more than it is about making money. So it's a long game, so don't worry about it. If not, last week was not too good. Coming to the charts, I've marked out the levels. So if you look at it, it's pretty standard 25 low, and then the year 25 2025's low, and this Q1's low, and this last month's high. That's about the key levels we have. On the weekly chart, if you look at it, we rejected from this area. We couldn't quite get to these highs in June, and then towards the ending we had some down move, but last week we were grinding up, so it was a bit of a chop one, but it was a green one nonetheless. So we're gonna look at how it goes. So on the daily also, you can see, right, the price action just not been too good. Lots of rejections, lots of this an attempt to reverse, this was also an attempt to reverse, and there's just, it's not gone through. So if you look at it, this one also, if you look, come down on the lower time frame right there, should have gone through, but there's no follow through in the market. It's instead grinding higher. So getting short stopped is a real issue at the moment. So you can see it was something similar in August last year, right there. So when July had ended, July ended right about here. Started, and then we saw same action. Same type of price action was there right here. If you look at till the 15th, it's the same kind of price action. That was it was grind higher, and then we took the liquidity, and then we went through. But till then, yeah, we can get troubled. So the higher probability short is somewhere right there. If you want a short, comes in, goes there, swing fills these two highs, and then the short goes down to here, and then further down to Q1 lows. But till then, you're just if you're gonna try to trade the short side, you're gonna get chopped out. And if you look at the way ETH has been behaving, ETH has obviously been leading it, but it's the same thing. ETH is stuck between 1850s to 1940s, and then the last 5 trading session or so, it's been even in a tighter range. So it's this small tiny range that it's been stuck in. If you look at it, right there, the entirety of the last week, this was the range. It's obviously grinding higher, so you can look for longs. You can look for longs. If we get a close above this, the longs are super solid, right? This is the range that's holding us down. So if you get a close above this, you can long it into 2K area, and these liquidity areas go. But till then, if you're just you can play range, right? But it's not the kind of market, right? You're not obviously getting paid a lot to trade the range either, so you have to wait it out a bit. So I think it's not worth it to trade this kind of range. You had a decent long in Solana over the weekend, but you can't really trust the price action over the weekend, and then again closing out poorly here. The daily, obviously it changed a bit after it posted, but it's just one candle right there. It could be reversing. We'll have to see how it goes. So it's grinding, and then shifting. So this could potentially be a shift and deviation. We have to see if it takes this out though. If it takes this out, we can long it back in these areas to take to these highs. But till then, it could just easily be a pullback before we continue further. This could just be one leg, and then it could just come here and then further down. That is how it has been going, right? So it could just be a macro leg. So of course, if this breaks, then we want to get long here in Solana. But then until then, it's not much to do. So that's about it for this week's planning. So I'd say that you should maintain some caution and avoid trading until there's a real opportunity. If we get a range breakout either side, or if we get some liquidity levels taken, then we can obviously trade. But till then, I think it's better to do the waiting game at the moment.